to do the right thing
that?
for this country because you are ready to make America great again.
Can you hear that? Yeah.
See, people hear it.
They should be able to.
Well,
This
I
is
am here because
Sarah
I know that it is
throwing her
now
life
or
away.
never.
Hypocrite.
Tagging her name.
To win it.
Yep. So Sarah Palin, in my opinion, is a hypocrite for one reason and one reason alone. She always talks about abstinence and, you know, not having sex before marriage and all this. Yet her daughter is now having a second child with a second baby daddy, you know, and you know, Sarah Palin holds herself to a very high, regard. It's all about family values. Yet, you know, her family doesn't hold itself to those same high regards. I would still Hulk smash upon Sarah Palin because I still think that she is a sexy woman, but I would probably have a ball gag in her mouth to shut her up, please. Because this. Well, I was prepared. I'm all about locking it down like that. Exactly. All right. Oh, you better believe it, man. Exactly. All right. Well, ready for a little sports? All right. Well, it's time for a little bit of the Average Joe Sports Report, brought to you live by Average Joe Sports, which is sports and talk for the Average Joe, by the Average Joe. We're going to start with a little blues hockey. Sorry, Ken Wilson is my all-time favorite. Sorry, I love Ken Wilson. He was the broad for me. He is the Blues, and when he and the Blues separated, you know, I mean, I used to love when Curtis Joseph was the goalie for the Blues. You know, he would go, "And Kosho makes a save." You know, he would just do everything so over the top. You know, Brett Hall with a slap shot. Oh my God, you know, just the greatest thing in the world. So anyway, so Blues hockey. So. The Blues lost to the Colorado Avalanche in Denver on Friday night. The Avs ended up beating the Blues in a shutout. Alexander Steen scored the lone Blues goal. Now, even though the Blues lost, Brian Elliott, who has taken over, he's actually been just a freaking brick wall as of late since goalie Jake Allen went down with injury. On Friday night, he actually stopped 40 of 41 shots faced when he took the Blues into overtime and into the shootout. The lone goal he gave up during the regular time was allowed with less than a minute to go in the third period. Not even a minute to go, and he let it up. It was just terrible. Now, Els, which is the nickname for Brian Elliott, has only allowed 4 goals over the past 3 games and has saved 105 out of 109 shots for a 96.3 save percentage, which is absolutely freaking outstanding. The Blues are 5-1-1 in their last 7 games, earning a possible 11 out of 14 points, and have been really, really hot going into the All-Star break. Now, the Blues play their last game before said All-Star break today in Chicago against the Blackhawks at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports Midwest. Now, Chicago had until recently won 12 in a row, which is really unheard of in hockey. I mean, if you can get it up to 7 or 8 in a row, that's pretty good, but 12 in a row, I mean, considering the entire NHL season, the regular season at least, is 82 games. You know, you basically just took care of, you know, 1/7 of your entire season in a row, which is beyond amazing to me. But they did lose their last 2 games in Florida, but against the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers, while being outscored by a combined total of 6-1. The Blues are currently 28-15-8 this season for 64 points, which is both third in the Western Conference and third in the Central Division. And the Blues have the 4th most points in the NHL so far this season. The NHL All-Star Game is going to be played next week, Sunday, January 31st, and we'll preview the All-Star Game more next week because there has been a massive format change. There was one Blues player, Mr. Vladimir Tarasenko, Frank the Tank, who's just gone in there and is just kicking ass. And I just said it. I just said a curse word and I said I was trying to change it. Oh, well. They just put an explicit tag on it. A little Cardinals baseball news for you today. Cardinals had some big plans this offseason. They tried going after David Price, and they lost. They tried to keep Jason Hayward, and they lost. And after losing out on both free agents, there was talk the Cards might go after one of the other available sluggers out there, including Chris Davis, Justin Upton, or Yoenis Cespedes. Now, all 3 players are now off the market, with Cespedes being the final one to sign. He actually just signed. Just keep this in mind. He's been a pretty good power-hitting outfielder. Not like really, really super great on defense, but he's got power. Doesn't really know how to get on base very well. But he just signed a 3-year deal for $75 million with the New York Mets. So he's going to be making some money for a long time. Now, Justin Upton also recently signed with Detroit for a 6-year deal for $132 million. That's just a paltry $22 million a year. And first baseman Chris Crush Davis re-signed with the Baltimore Orioles for 7 years and $161 million, which, by the way, is a 23 AAV, which is average annual value. I would have really liked it if the Cardinals had been able to sign Davis for about a 5 to 6 year deal. He does strike out a lot, over 150 to 200, but when he makes contact, he hit ball go bar. Baltimore fans will have the pleasure of watching him hit bombs for the years to come. Now, last thing about the Cardinals have invited 22 non-roster invitees to spring training this season. Now, there are two types of players that generally receive a non-roster invitation: prospects and also veteran players who are not offered any major league contract by a club. The veteran players usually sign to a two-way salary option, one for their time in the minors and another if they're placed on the 40-man roster in the majors, okay? Now, I'm intrigued by a couple of the invitees, but the biggest one I'm actually most intrigued by is a minor leaguer by the name of Jeremy Hazelbaker. He's been playing for a number of teams, but most recently, before signing with the Cardinals, he was with the Dodgers. The Dodgers actually let him go last season, and the Cardinals picked him up. And since they picked him up, they placed him at this AA level, and then he played so well, they moved him to AAA. He's been hitting like a bat out of hell in 98 minor league games for the Cardinals at both AA and AAA. He hit, if you combine his stats, a 323 batting average, 399 on base, and a 557 slugging percentage. He had 23 doubles, 10 triples, and 13 home runs in 98 games. If even like 80% of that were to translate into major league production, this guy could make a boatload of money. So I'm hoping he could slide in as like a fourth or fifth outfielder type, or come up in case of emergency, because let's face it, injuries happen in sports. Mm-hmm. And we're going to close today with that bad, terrible, horrible sport football that I love so much. It's like that fickle ex-girlfriend that I loved smashing, but she was crazy. The NFL are playing the final the second and third final games of the season for the AFC and NFC championship games. In the AFC championship game, you have the New England Patriots, or I should say the New England Cheetatriots, facing the Denver Broncos in Denver at 1:05 p.m. today. This will likely be the final Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady battle, because every time they play it is a battle. Usually Tom Brady wins more often, but Patey Pie has done a few things, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'd put my money on Tom Brady and the Cheetatriots. I don't know if Denver is going to be able to do it, and it seems like nobody can stop, Gronkowski. That guy you could put 5 guys on him, and he's just going to pull down that ball. So I don't know. I really hope I'm wrong, but I really think that Tom Brady and the Cheetatriots are going to win. So that's my AFC prediction. In the NFC Championship game, this is the one I'm actually more excited about. I'm like grabbing the table and like shaking it. I'm so excited about it because you got the Arizona Cardinals going to Charlotte to face the 15-1 Carolina Panthers. The thing is, I don't really know what to think about this game. Carolina and Arizona were the top 2 highest scoring teams in the NFL this season. They scored more points than they were literally number 1 and number 2 in points scored. Carolina allowed the sixth least amount of points this season. Arizona, the 7th least amount of points this season. It's a real toss-up. The complexion of the game could really change due to turnovers, though. Carolina led the NFL with a plus 20 takeaway differential, meaning that they took away, when it came to a turnover, they took away 20 more than they gave up. Arizona was 4th best, but they were only a plus 9 takeaway differential. Carolina's got the superior kick return game, while Arizona has the better punt return game. I don't know why. Maybe it's my former homerism coming out, but I'm going to pick the Cardinals to and take down Cam Newton and the Panthers. That's just my 2 cents. 2 weeks from today is Super Bowl 50. That's why at the 50-yard line all the 50s are gold on the NFL, except for in Oakland, because they keep it the same color because they're Oakland and they want to thumb their nose and flip the bird at the NFL.
It's California.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
California.
Kind of makes me a fan of Oakland, to be quite honest with you, just for that matter, because I've been flipping the bird at the NFL Shield for a long time now. So Super Bowl 50 will be played in Santa Clara, California, at Levi Stadium, home of those San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, wow.
And that is the Average Joe Sports Report right here on Life as We Know It on Indie Music Radio.
Right here. Okay, so what do we have?
Hey, radio
First of all,
fella.
can you hear
Bringing the good news today.
that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So,
We've got Crazy 8 tournaments. So we're down to the final 4, right?
Yes, we are.
All right. Bring that bad boy up. What have we got going on right now?
Okay, so first round, we've got HIV Sheen versus the mass shootings. A recap, HIV Sheen, based off Charlie Sheen, paying off everybody for years to keep his secret of having HIV quiet. Apparently it didn't work out so well for him.
He ran out of money.
and the mass shootings across the country that we've seen last year.
Okay, so we got HIV Sheen against mass shootings.
Well,
Correct.
All right. Andrew, your pick.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I mean,
Aren't they both kind of mass shootings? Much.
But you know what? My thought process has always been, when it comes to the Crazy 8 tournament, who gets affected more? I'm going to vote for them. And the problem is, since Sheen had sexual relations with so many people, and those people could have had sexual relations with so many people, I really don't know who's been impacted more. If it's been Charlie Sheen infecting so many people with HIV, allegedly or potentially, or if it's all the people who have been shot and or murdered from all of these mass shootings. I really don't know which number is going to be bigger, because also once the mass shooting's done, it's like it's done. There's no lasting impact. And once you get the bug, as they like to say in The Wire, which if you haven't seen The Wire, you should see The Wire. But if you get the bug, if you get HIV, it's lifelong, baby. There ain't no getting rid of it. And if you have sex with one other person without protection, they have a very good possibility of getting it also. So I don't know which one I want to vote for. I would say for the sheer audacity and what disturbs me the most at my core, I have to go with the mass shootings. But I think the number of people impacted is probably going to go to HIV Sheen. So my official vote for it, Charlie Sheen, not so winning. Thank you, Diana. All right. So I'm going to go with mass shootings, because those disturb me to my core, because my kid's not safe, my wife's not safe. It puts that fear into you. So that is my official vote.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
Mass shootings, right?
Mass shootings. I'm going with mass shootings. That is my final answer. Thank you, Regis.
Phil, your vote?
Okay, I can't go by numbers on this one. I mean, the headline is most disturbing.
Yes.
And why mass shootings is very disturbing. I'm not arguing with that.
Right.
The fact that Sheen had the audacity to try to pay and cover this up, and going off your domino effect, if you will, how many people truly have been affected by this secret?
More of our interview with Charlie.
I'm going to have to go with HIV Sheen on this one.
All right.
Jeff, good morning to you once again.
Hi, good morning, Meredith,
yeah.
once again to you. This was a candid conversation, as Matt mentioned. Charlie Sheen did not hold back at all, opening up about his drug use, his kids, violence, depression, and also his new war with CBS network executives who he claims are trying to destroy his family. The first question
Now,
America wants to know.
I got to vote for Sheen.
Go vote for Sheen?
You guys, I know that we vote for Sheen.
Okay, so we got two. Okay, so I lose, and that's okay. Both are very disturbing. I mean, when you get to the final 4, you got to have some real disturbing ish going on. Okay, so all right, so HIV Sheen moves to the final 2, to the championship round of the most disturbing news stories of 2015 for the Crazy 8. All right, Phil, what's the next one, sir?
All right, so next we've got going Gutsito Wayne versus the Paris attacks.
Gutsito Wayne, that's my vote.
Yeah, Gutsito Wayne, the guy with all the intestines that he cut himself
So
open.
he cut
pulled them
himself
all out.
open, pulled all of his intestines out, and wore them like a tuxedo. Well, you know what? I really can't argue with that. For me, personally, I would have gone for the Paris attacks, because those really disturbed me, because there were so many people. Again, my criteria being it affects more people. I mean, Gutsito Wayne is really disturbing, but I'm gonna, that's just
I'm going for
pure disturbing facts.